starting now.
So one of the things that you said is you were talking to a coworker and that you felt 100% different than you did a year ago. So tell me a little bit about that. So are you comfortable with the way you're coping with work now, or?
I don't know. Like, I have very mixed feelings about my job. Like, I really do love the job I do. I love working with children. Even like on days where like I have to do like 4 restraints or a kid punch me, like I don't hold any of that against them because they're there for a reason. So like I genuinely enjoy the work that I do. It's just the people I work for are very difficult people to like just not just work for, but like it's hard when there are things that you need in order to do your job, or your kids in the unit need, and you feel like they're not getting that. It's very hard to just sit back and like not be able to do anything about it. And then when you go to voice your opinions or your concerns to the person in charge on how to change this, and you get nothing in return, or they take it personally and they throw it back in your face, it's very hard to like continue to do that job when nothing is changing and everything is staying in the same shitty place it's been since you got there. Even after you put in all that effort to try and make changes, to see none of that happen, it's really, really frustrating. So like a lot of my coworkers have been leaving recently.
Right.
Like
you said that there's a lot of
we just had one of the clinicians just put in her 2 weeks last week, and her final day is Friday. So now the director that we all have so many issues with is going to be assuming that role as well, because she's a licensed clinician, and it's like, you're already currently not doing the job that you're supposed to be doing, and now you're going to not do a job that needs to be done for the sake of the children, and I'm going to lose it.
So when you say you're going to lose it,
I don't know how, like, it's happened before. It happened last year where she had to assume the role as clinician and nothing got done. Like, having to listen to the kids like, oh, well, my clinician met with me for 2 minutes today. And it's literally supposed to be a minimum of 20 minutes.
Right.
Like, how do I explain that to a parent when they're calling me concerned about the fact that their kid's not getting treatment? Like, now you're making my job more difficult, because it's like the kid has things he wants to talk about and you're not talking to him about them, so now they're talking to me. I'm pulled off the floor, we're out of ratio, and oh look, a kid needs to be restrained, so I have to tell this kid, hey, your problems are important, but you can't talk about it right now because I have to go restrain one of your peers. Like, it's just setting us all up for disaster, and it's setting those kids up to not get the treatment that they really need, and it's really aggravating. So like, part of me wants to just be like I can't do this anymore, I'm gonna search for another job, I'm gonna go somewhere else. But the other part of me is like, I love this job, I love working for Child and Family Services, and I don't want to leave again because I have an internship through them and it's so easy to coordinate schedules with them. But it's like, do I stay with a job that makes me really angry for the sake of convenience? But in the same token, do I walk away from a job that I really enjoy, just can't stand administration?
So when we had talked a few weeks ago, you said you were definitely going to stay there through the end of your schooling for at least till June. So this is sort of new for you to even think about leaving. So you were pretty committed that that was off the table to even look for a new job. So do you feel differently now?
Yeah, like I've had conversations with a bunch of coworkers, I've talked about it with my mom, and like this is a company that or an agency that I could really see myself sticking with for the long run. Like, I like the work that they do, I like their message, I like their goals. There's the only thing I don't like about the agency is the person that I currently work for. Like, that's pretty much it. And while it seems so like such a minor thing as compared to like the rest of the agency as a whole, like when you work with that person for, I want to say half of the hours that you work in a week, so 20 out of your 40 hours, it's like those 20 hours are terrible. Like, it's just it's very difficult to get through the tension, the hostility. It's very, very palpable, and everybody feels, and it's a hostile work environment at times, and it's like, it really makes you question, like, is that other 50% actually worth it?
So we've never talked about this supervisor or whatever. So, have you thought about like going to the HR department when you say it's a hostile work environment?
So,
or is that, I know that, have you?
So the issue that, the reason why I don't go any higher or any further with it is because 4 other staff members that I work with have made a point of making complaints, have like gone in to formally put things down in paper, and it's that, watching that all happen and having nothing come of it is just a reminder that it's good to have friends in high places. Because, don't get me wrong, like, my director, I'm not saying she's a terrible person, like, I honestly and truly think that I would like her outside of work. I really, really do. Like, when she's, like, not in total director mode, like, she's a great person to be around, and to, like, we have a lot of the same interests and stuff like that. It's just when the way she does her job, I don't agree with, and, like, I've tried having that conversation with specifically her, didn't work out. I tried asking the director, the assistant director who's been our friend for years, like, how to better communicate with her, didn't work. And it's like, people have gone to our site director to have that conversation with her, and she, without a doubt, every single time, has disregarded everything we said in favor of what the director is saying. So, like, for example, my coworker, we're not allowed to have our phones out in front of the kids. We all know it. We all respect it. It's whatever. We'll get over it. He had his phone case out with, like, one of those pop socket things that used to put on the back, and he couldn't for the life of him figure it. Like, his phone was in the office. It wasn't even on his person. He couldn't for the life of him figure out how to get this pop socket onto the back of this case. So he was, like, holding it, and he was asking the other staff members around, like, can one of you do this for me? And my boss came up, and she was just, what are you doing? And he was just, it's a phone case and a pop socket, like, I'm trying to get it on. So 10 minutes later, she pulls him into the office. She's like, I'm writing you up for having your cell phone out on the floor. And he was like, it's literally a case and a pop socket. There's no phone involved. She's like, oh, well, I saw you with your thumbs, like, you were typing. Like, you're getting written up for this, and you're getting suspended for 2 days. And he was like, no, but, like, legit, there's no phone. Well, where's your phone? It's in the office. It's not my person. Oh, you must have put that there in the last 20 minutes. Like, it was so ridiculous that, like, none of us could grasp that this was actually happening. So he, like, went to the site director,
Right.
explained the situation, told her that she could ask any of the kids, any of the staff, anybody that was on the floor, like, what happened. She said, yes, I will speak with all of the staff on and the supervisor, which was me, and discuss with them, like, what actually happened, and then we'll figure out, like, what to do about this whole write-up and suspension for violating the terms and whatever, the policy. She never talked to any of us and upheld the suspension, and he was suspended for 2 days. And it's like, so what's the point in saying that we can come to you to talk about these things if you literally don't give a shit? Like,
So has the director been there for a long time?
no, she was given the position 3 years ago, I think, or 4 years ago. She's worked for the agency for 10 years, but
Okay.
she's been the director of the unit for the last.
So
like,
have you thought about asking for maybe like a transfer to another location?
So that was, like, initially my goal. For, like, after I got my, like, license and everything, like, I want to stay in the agency. I just don't want to be at that building.
But do you think you could ask to transfer now before?
I've looked. I looked like a lot with the last week. There's no current positions in my range that I could transfer to. So, yeah. I'm kind of stuck unless I decide to go outside the agency, and I really don't want to do that. Like, I really do enjoy this agency. Like, I really want to stick with it. But.
So do you think that, if you stay, where you are, how do you, kind of, what skills do you need to cope with things the way they are?
Well,
you're working in a stressful environment. You have a unsupportive boss, someone that sounds, beyond unsupportive, just, is a bad manager. You
Yeah,
know?
she's blatantly told me, like, oh, yeah, I have a habit of taking things personally, but I'm working on it, and you guys are going to give me a chance to work on it. So you want me to risk getting written up so that you can work on not taking things personally? Like, I won't do that.
Right.
That's crazy.
So it sounds like when we started the conversation, you are working, you're kind of sticking to your 40 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think you did that out of self-care or self-preservation because this is so dysfunctional, like I'll just stick to my, that I'm spending less time?
So,
Or do you think you were able to consciously say I need some work-life balance or?
no, I definitely think that was part of the self-care. Like, all the staff know, like, she picks a person and they got a target on their back. I've never been that person other than when my friend got fired a few months ago and they casually just, like, sent me a message or something, I don't know, and had me pulled into the big boss's office to ask me questions about dumb things. Like, I baked a cake once and didn't serve it to the kids. And I was just, well, show me the policy that says I can't do that. Yeah, like, it was pretty much just an intimidation tactic. That was the only time that I've ever really had, like, the negative spotlight on me. Other than that, like, there's never really been an issue. I've never been written up. I've never been given a bad supervision. I've never gotten in trouble for anything. So, like, I don't think it was out of self-preservation or anything like that. Like, I definitely think it was self-care because I was working too many hours. I definitely was. Like, I wasn't sleeping very well. My eating habits were absolutely terrible. I wasn't exercising, which was causing my anxiety to skyrocket. So I definitely think that was part of self-care. But, like, I feel like the choice to not work more than I'm scheduled was also, like, it was kind of just, but the need for that was just reaffirmed by the fact that the unit is just not the way that it.
So you said that. So do you feel like there's a target on your back now at work?
No, I've kind of learned that, like, because I used to be one of those people that I speak up. Like, if I have a thought or opinion, like, I speak up about it at staff meetings. Like, I always voice my opinions or how I feel about things when we're given the opportunity to, just so that they can never say, hey, you never said anything to us. I'm starting to get more, I don't know, I'm starting to pick and choose when I do that now. Because, like, before it's like, oh, well, they came up with this new policy, I want to talk to them about it. Like, no, that's the policy, we're going to respect it, it is what it is. Like, I'm not going to give them, or specifically her, any opportunity to kind of, like, accuse me of anything, really, or hold anything against me. Like, no, I'm not going to present them with the opportunity to take something that I'm doing that's not meant in a malicious way and turn it into something malicious. Like, I won't do that.
So it sounds like you're mistrustful of the current management there, even though overall you like the company, and you have examples of why. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, definitely. And it's like, it's just.
I'm
everything. Like, I am one of those people who, like, trust is something that I absolutely need to have in, like, any relationship that I have with anybody. Like, I feel like that's just pretty much just a basic thing for humans. Like, we need to be able to trust the people that we're working with or in relationships with, or, like, I can't trust you to have my back for anything. So if a kid accuses me of doing something and a 51A needs to be filed, like, I can't trust that you're going to actually investigate that well enough to make sure that that kid, like, wasn't lying on me.
Alexa, turn off the alarm.
And, like, I can't trust that, like, you have my best interest at heart or anything along those lines. And, like, for example, when they pick the kids that are going to be on unit.
Alexa, turn off the timer.
When they pick the kids that are going to be on unit, I can't trust that you're going to make the decision based on the kids that we have on unit or based on the money that's being brought in through insurance. Like, we literally had 4 kids that were had sexualized behaviors on unit at once, and that's not something we do because that puts the other kids at risk. And it was an absolute shit show. Like, I had a little girl touching a little boy, and then I had a little boy trying to go into a teenage girl's room. Like, it was an absolute shit show. And it was all done for the simple fact that this insurance gave them more money than this insurance. So it's just it's insane.